All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Krakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to all the Achaeon, the elect that are scattered across the four corners of the earth, teaching and preaching this truth and faith and in our sincerity. I'm the brother Shema Allah from the great millstone Houston camp, and this lesson is going to be entitled The Power of Israel, or the God of Israel is the only living God, right? Which his name is Yahweh. You see, the Most High Yahweh, right, and also his son Yahushua, they're the only two powers on the planet that the only two powers that exist. You see, these other gods, Salagi, these other gods that these people worship, they were created. They were man-made, right? Someone just imagined these things and came up with these things and started worshiping them. And the process of time, these gods, took hold of new names and new forms. And they are the gods that we have today that people worship, right, in different religions, which these different gods, dates back thousands of years. You see, they ain't nothing new, right? They just it basically, I guess you could say, revise it. Change the story, right? Change the appearance of these gods. Right, and they just kind of look different today. See, but that the Most High is the only power that exists, right? And like I said too, also his son, whom we're able to call Jesus Christ. His name is Yahushua. Right? But the Most High is above everything and everybody. These other gods or idols don't have any power, and that's exactly what they are. They are idols. In Psalm 96:5, for all the gods of the nations are idols, but Yahweh make the heavens. So these other nations and their gods and idols that they worship, they are nothing. It's vanity. See, the Most High, he is the only true power, and he's our power, the power of the Israelites. You see, which are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So these other nations, they basically, they don't have anyone to worship. They don't have anyone to call upon. You see, not like how Israel does. See, this is because Israel, they're into idol worship heavy as well. Right, but it always been like that. They always took hold of the nation's ways and took hold onto their lifestyle, to their customs, and to their idols. Deuteronomy 32:17, they sacrifice unto the devils, not to the Most High, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Right, our forefathers weren't fearing these gods that people fear today. Got Jesus Christ. Right, that goes back unto Egypt. It's to Serapis Christus. Right, but you go further back, way back then, bro, we feared the Most High, Yahweh. Yeah, that's what we feared, because the Most High, he was amongst us, and he was showing us, miracles. He was showing us, the plagues in Egypt. See, the chariot, right? He delivered us. He delivered us many times. Many times angels came down to help. Angels came down to give judgment. See, visions and dreams. At the Most High, he was constantly dealing with us. You see, so we knew that that was the only true power. See, but these guys that people worship today, they're newly created. right? It says gods that newly came up. Because the Most High, he's called the Ancient of Days. He was here from the beginning, before everything was even created. He was before all of these idols. That's why when you go to Isaiah 44:8, fear ye not, neither be afraid. Have not I told thee from that time, and have declared it? Ye are even my witnesses. Is there a God besides me? Yea, there is no God. I know not any. So he said, I don't know any of these gods that y'all worship. I don't know nobody else. See, this is the Ancient of Days. This is the Most High, right? His name means he exists, or he is, or he to be. He don't know these gods. What that should tell you, that means that they don't exist at all. Right? Maybe think about this account in 1 Kings 18:21, dealing with the prophets of Baal and Elijah. Right? He basically scheduled a meeting. You see, between the prophets of Baal, was basically Satan, and with Elijah, right? And this is what he put together right here. This is what he had planned. 1 Kings 18:21, it says, and Elijah came unto all the people and said, How long halt ye between two opinions? If Yahweh be the power, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. Then said Elijah unto the people, even I only remain a prophet of Yahweh, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. So see, these were 450 prophets of Baal. But it was only Elijah though. But the numbers didn't matter. You're going to see why. Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And I will dress the other bullock, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And call ye on the name of your gods, and I will call the name of Yahweh. And the Most High that answered, or the power that answered by fire, let him be the power. And all the people answered and said, it is well spoken. So he said, look, we're going to put this, we basically going to make a sacrifice, right? Or we're going to cut this animal up, the bullock, we're going to put it on the wood, right? You going to call on your God, I'm going to call on mine. And whoever lights it, whichever God lights it, hey, then that's the true God. It says, let me see. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, choose you 1 bullock for yourselves, and dress it first, for you are many, and call the name of your gods, but put no fire under. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called the name of Baal from morning even unto noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, no any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made. And I laughed when I read that. Right? So they was calling upon Baal for hours. They even had to jump on top of the altar, bro. Like, hey, please hear us. Calling on nothing. Right? Just out there. Ain't nobody hearing you. The same thing these people in these religions that they worship. They be praying for hours. You see, they be praying in big ass groups. Right? These Christians, these Muslims, these Chinese people, they pray to their God, but nobody is hearing them. It says, and it came to pass at noonday, Elijah mocked them and said, cry aloud, for he is a power, or he is a God. Either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he's in a journey, or peradventure he sleepeth and must be awake. So he was like, keep crying, so he gonna hear you. He probably just busy right now, He probably took a trip, right? You probably got to wake him up, scream a little louder. He probably sleep. It says, and they cried aloud and cut themselves after the manner with knives and lances till the blood gushed out upon them. So they start cutting themselves. So they start stressing. So they're like, damn. Because they clearly making a fool of themselves. Right? Making an ass of themselves. It says, "And it came to pass, when midday was past, and they prophesied to the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice nor any to answer, nor any that regarded. And Elijah said unto all the people, Come near to me. And all the people came near to him. And he repaired the altar of Yahweh that was broken down." Right, because Israel was watching this take place as well. Because he called the congregation of Israel as well to come witness. It says, "And Elijah took 12 stones according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, unto whom the word of Yahweh came, saying, Israel shall be thy name. And with the stones he built an altar in the name of Yahweh, and he made a trench about the altar, as great as will contain 2 measures of seed. And he put the wood in order, and cut the bullock in pieces, and laid him on the wood, and said, Fill 4 barrels with water, and pour it on the burnt sacrifice on the wood. And he said, Do it the second time. And they did it the second time. And he said, Do it the third time. And they did it the third time. And the water ran about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water." So he was so confident. He put water on the sacrifice. Or put water on the sacrifice on the wood and all of that. Now, you put water on anything, it's going to be hard to set fire to it. You see, so he was confident. He knew that the Lord was going to come through. For him to put water on it 3 times. It says, "And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, Elijah the prophet came near and said, Yahweh, power of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day that thou art the Most High, or our power in Israel, and that I am thy servant, and that I have done all these things at thy word. Hear me, O Yahweh, hear me, that this people may know that thou art Yahweh power, and that thou hast turned their heart back again. Then the fire of Yahweh fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice and the wood and the stones and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, Yahweh, he is the power. Yahweh, he is the power." So, the Most High made them acknowledge him. The Most High, he burnt the sacrifices up. And the wood, he consumed everything. All the water, the sacrifice, the wood. Right, so Yahweh, he came through and he showed us, like, look, I'm the only one that exists. You see, and Elijah was confident to even schedule this whole little meeting up to plan that whole thing out, right? He was confident that the Most High was going to perform whatever he called upon him for. See, because he's the only true power. And he believed that. We believe that. John 17:3, "And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true power, and Yahweh Shai Mashiach, whom thou hast sent." So even Yahweh Shai said, look, he the only true power. So, these people, they're going to be calling upon these guys in a time of trouble when they really need them the most. And they ain't going to be there to answer them. They ain't going to be there to help them. They ain't going to be there to assist them, because, you know why? They don't exist. They aren't there. They praying, if anything, they praying to demons. And the demons are controlled by the Most High. They are under the Most High. Right, so you basically in a trick bag. So, if you don't call upon the Most High, right? Which you gotta be an Israelite anyway, the elect too. Ain't no salvation for you. See, ain't nothing nobody can do for you. See, if you ain't calling upon that name, right, through anything, through any times of trouble, anything you're going through in your life, for more faith, for spiritual gifts, for anything, you ain't praying to the Most High Yahweh, the God of Israel, right? Well, his true name, because the name matters, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? In the name of his son, can't forget to say that. Right? You ain't praying to him, then you're praying to nothing. I ended off with this. It's one of my favorite chapters. Psalm 121. "I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. You see, so it says he that keepeth thee, meaning protecting you or watching over you. Say he will not sleep or he will not slumber. The Most High don't get tired. He don't get weary. See, it ain't gonna be nothing that happened to the elect. Yahweh Shah gonna have to tap on the Most High shoulder. Hey, look, hey, hey, look what's going on. Hey, wake up, Father. Wake up. The Most High just slumped on the throne or something. Nah. The Most High don't need no sleep. Even when you go into the angels, say that the angels, the angels don't eat, they don't drink, right? He said they don't get tired and they don't disobey his word. See, so if he create something that don't get tired, how much more him? You see? This is the Father of spirits. He created everything. The Most High ain't gonna need no sleep. Anytime of the day, anytime of the night that you call upon the Most High gonna hear you. The Most High gonna hear your prayers. Anytime. No matter where you at in the world, no matter what time it is. Right? The Most High is the living power. He ain't taking breaks. Right? He ain't the Most High, right? From 9 to 5, then after that, he just out playing around on a trip or something in the universe somewhere, just chilling. Nah. But yeah, man, that was a lesson. Hope brothers edify. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.